Hello, everybody. Benga Olatunji here, welcoming you to Chigem's Associate channel. Looking at e-currency, particularly E-Naira, all you need to know about digital currency, which by the time you receive the notification of this video will be live, launched already. The E-Naira guideline, and you see, everybody must spend money. So everybody should have interest in this very important question. What are the information out there for us, available for us? What are the questions yet unanswered? What is e-currency? What is e-naira? Those are the things, questions, pertinent questions that we need to be answering. And how are we going to be integrated into the digital currency economy, and how is it going to support and affect our lives? So those are the things that we'll be looking at today. And this in particular order, we are going to look at it just to ensure that we have an holistic view of everything we need to know about the e-currency going live. So we shall be taking a look at the history of e-currency, electronic currency. Or are we going to be the first to do it in the world? The answer is no. Maybe in Africa. The answer is yes. We are going to look at the history of electronic currency. We are going to answer what really is electronic naira or electronic currencies generally. We are going to examine what about e-currency, what is e-naira. We are going to answer why. Why why do we need e-currency? We are going to answer when is it going live. We are going to answer who will be involved in this pilot scheme. We are going to answer how are we going to deploy it and be integrated into it. We are going to look at what you need to do as a person and what we need to do as a people. We are going to look at the advantages and the seemingly challenges to be overcome, and we are going to answer the questions that we have information out there to answer, then push forward questions yet to be fully answered on the matter of e-naira, e-currency, e-economy going live. So let us go into the discourse, the history of digital economy, digital currency, especially e-naira. First of all, we need to know that some countries, especially from the Asian part of the world, they've started to do and to deploy e-currency. An example of them is one, Cambodia in Asia. They've launched their own, they call it Cambodia Bakong. Cambodia Bakong is already live. Also, China with their E-CNY, they've launched their own. Bahamas is not left. They've launched their own. They call it Sand Dollar. And for Bahamas, actually, they will be the first in the world to have e-currency, that is Sand Dollar. So when we are talking about e-currency, is not autonomous. That is, it's not just free floating like cryptocurrencies. No, it is going, or they are actually regulated and controlled by the central bank of every nation. So they are not autonomous. They are not just left to the forces of demand and supply and the market push, market pull, but they are going to be regulated. So that's why we cannot call them cryptocurrency, but they are digi digital currency regulated by the central bank of every nation. And for us, in particular in Nigeria, the Central Bank of Nigeria will be regulating this E-Naira, which is a journey. So welcome to the journey of E-Naira. Going by the history, one thing will stand out. We've spoken of Cambodia, we've spoken of Bahamas, we've spoken of China. One thing stand out immediately, and that is in Africa, Nigeria will be the first to launch its e-currency. Of course, Ghana is working on their e-cities, but not yet launched. But by the time you are hearing me, E-Naira is already launched. So in Africa, Nigeria will be the first, just like all over the world. We are going to talk about Bahamas Sand Dollar being the first e-currency of the world. Now let us look at what really is e-currency, or in particular, what is electronic naira. Just like it sounds, e-naira is an electronic money, and by that it simply means it's a digital currency, digital naira. So also, because naira is our legal tender, that means also that e-naira is a legal tender. So e-naira is a legal tender. That is another thing when we are talking about what e-naira is. Also, when we are talking about what e-naira is, it can be called CBDC, that is Central Bank Digital Currency. CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currency, because it's not an autonomous currency like crypto. It's going to be regulated by the central bank of every nation. So we can call it CBDC, that is Central Bank Digital Currency. It runs on blockchain technology. E-Naira is going to run on blockchain technology. With that, it means that it's going to be very secure. It means the latest technology is going to enhance our security. That means our money will be safe where we keep it in the wallet. And by the way, we are going to get to what wallet really is. So with the blockchain technology, our mind can be at rest a bit. Now, we need to answer another very important question. Why do we need electronic currency? Why do we need electronic currency? The Central Bank of Nigeria has put forward some important answer to why we need to go live on E-Naira and e-currency, especially to drive policy on remittances, especially cross-border remittances. We will all agree that cross-border remittances affect and pull and pushes up and down the rates of exchange. So we need this to drive and regulate these aspects of our economy, especially when we are talking about another competitor to e-currency in form of crypto. And by the way, cryptocurrency is banned in Nigeria because crypto is different from the digital currency that we are talking about. So we hope, we just must all hope that CBN will be able to achieve this cross-border transaction regulation for the betterment of our currency, to strengthen it. Also, they push another reason forward, that for banking improvements, including financial inclusion. And I think twice now I've been privileged for, for the discussion of financial inclusion in our country, and it's actually a big deal, really. It's actually a big deal. So if this e-currency will be of help to include our people, well, why not? Why not? That I may be sounding a bit personal about it and positive about it. There are actually the good side of it, and there are areas of challenges which, as we continue, we are going to get to. So if it can help, if we regulate it well, maybe much people could be included in our economy and not being financially excluded. That is another reason why e-currency is going live. Of course, CBN gave another answer, that to reduce the cost of printing the money, that is our fiat currency, the paper money, to reduce the printing. Well, maybe, hopefully, it's going to reduce on the national level. It's okay, and it's fine if it does. Now, let us look at another question. When? And the answer is electronic Naira is going live now. By the time you are listening to me and watching this video, is already live. So the answer to when is now. Let us move on to who will be involved, and I want to believe that every one of us would like to know who will be involved when we are talking about our money. Who and who will be involved? Basically, there is an international company called Bit Incorporation from Barbados. They are into fintech or financial technology company, and they will be partnering with us. When I say us, don't think it's being Gaolatunji. I mean CBN, the central bank of our nation. So Bit Incorporation will be working together with CBN, and to the curious mind, we ask ourselves, how were they selected? Were they not Nigerian fintech companies that could have been used? Of course, the CBN has answered that procedures were followed and diligence and due diligence, and after the processes, BITS Incorporation was picked. Having done it before, actually, they've implemented it for few of the nations that we've earlier mentioned. So it seems we are in good hand. But another question that we need to answer and take care of as a nation may be that then BITS Incorporation from Barbados, we need to become a legal entity in Nigeria here. That is, the organization must be fully established as a Nigerian company. It's then we can hone our onions. Then, when CBN partners together with our local organization, it becomes more meaningful and reduces the exposure. So that is this is an advice, and I believe it's a very good advice. We wouldn't know as of now, are they now indigenous organization in Nigeria, but with incorporation? If they are not yet, we need to do something about it urgently. And I hope everybody will agree with me on this. You can put your comment, please. Let's hear from you. And as we move on to the next important question, how are we going to implement e-currency? It is important also to remember and remind ourselves that if you are just joining us and you are yet to subscribe on this channel, please subscribe, like, comment, share the video if you've enjoyed it so that other people could be beneficiary of this information, because every one of us as a nation must know about it. So please share and comment. Don't forget to subscribe, please. So we move on to how are we going to implement it? How are we going to implement this? And the answer is going to be hybrid. And please let us listen for good so that we can understand. When we say hybrid, what do we mean by hybrid? That means it's a mixture of something. And what are they? The implementation of e-currency is going to be in form of hybrid of the retail and wholesales implementation. So what is retail? What is wholesale? So in retail, CBDC, that is central bank digital currency implementation, the central bank relates directly with the citizenry. Meanwhile, in wholesales, it means the central bank implements the central bank digital currency alongside and in partnership with the intermediaries, that is the financial institutions, the banks in the nation. So the CBN, the banks, then the depositors or the bank users, the financial institution user, that is yourself and myself. For the important reason of not unnecessarily isolate and removing the intermediaries, that is the financial institution, because they have their role to play. It should not be too good, at least for now, that CBDC implementation should go on pure retail. So we have to hybrid it. That is the combination of retail and also implementation. That is what I called hybrid, and that is what CBN said we are going to be using as implementation strategy. Then, what are the processes of implementing the central bank digital currency? Basically, is broken into five parts. The process is broken into five stages. The first stage is that CBN is going to be responsible and own the process. The second stage, the bank will come in to do the normal banking, know your customer KYC, also AML, that is the anti-money laundering verification and the like. And for anyone that want to have digital wallets, then after that, government, the stage three, government will begin to regulate to ensure stability after we had introduced the E-Naira and the E-currency. After that, merchants, companies, institutions could have their wallets and the like. And then stage 5 is the retail stage, in which everybody will come in. Maybe at that stage, maybe the hybrid of implementation strategy may be reconsidered and the like. All these processes, all these stages requires greater effort, greater monitoring, and greater commitment to see all of us through as a nation and in this journey of electronic currency. Having discussed about the how of the implementation, about the hybrid implementation strategy and the five stages processes, let us now move on to what you need to do about your E-Naira, about your E-currency. What do you need to do as a person to have your E-Naira and E-currency? You need to have speed wallet. It's called speed wallet. You need to have Nigerian speed wallet. And for you to have speed wallets, basically you need to have speed wallet downloaded, maybe from the App World or from Google Play Store. So after you've downloaded the speed wallet, you must validate your wallet by choosing and selecting which financial institution, that is bank, that you want to bank with. And the process of verification and validation will involve you to link your BVN, your NIN, and for financial inclusion, phone number, because a lot of citizenry do not have much other information, but with phone number they can easily be included, which is one of the primary objective of e-currency for financial inclusion. So you will need your phone number, you will need your some other people depending on the level of the digital wallet you want to have. You may need your BVN, you may need your NIN. Let us look at the advantages of having your E-Naira in your wallet. It's fast, you have your money all and always with you, is secured using the current blockchain technology, our monies are safe and secure based on what CBN said is cheap because transfer charges will be minimal if not reduced to zero at some point. So it's cheap, and because you are dealing with central bank, especially for retail implementation, the intermediary charges from the financial institution will be removed at a point or reduced drastically. So money transferring and transaction becomes cheaper. Also, financial inclusion. Many of our people that do not have bank accounts and are in places so remote can now have access to electronic money. May not need to be keeping raw cash, which is susceptible to theft and the like. Now, with little functional phone, at a point, smartphone may not be that required, even though it's important because currently it's going to run on technology which uses internet. But at a point, maybe may begin to use USD code and the like, and for financial inclusion. And basically, I'm already running into the challenges that we may have because if we want to financially include other people that have been disenfranchised before, now if they are in remote places without internet, they may not be equally able to access their e-currency or take advantage of it. Then they are still financially excluded. So this aspect need to be taken care of is part of the challenge. It's the advantage that leads us to it. But I want to believe that somebody out there will reason along with me. Still stretching this challenge further, if like 32% of us hold smartphones in our hands, and the primary objective and advantage of e-economy, e-currency is for financial inclusion. What happened to those people that could not afford, do not have smartphones to access E-Naira, e-currency? That's a bit of challenge, and which defeats the purpose or one of the purposes of electronic naira. So we need to look into this and for better idea and answer to this put forward question and challenge. Another challenge that we can put forward as regards this E-Naira is that as good as blockchain technology is, we still need to work on our data protection as a nation, data protection as individual. We need to have the lifestyle of securing our data, especially on our mobile devices and the like. So lifestyle changes, data protection, management as a people, as a nation, on the level of merchants and the like, we need to look critically into this, and every factor that need to enhance it and enable people to achieve data protection, even as a nation, must be looked at holistically. We must not leave stone unturned in these regards. User interface may be another challenge. How will it look like? We are yet to see it, we are yet to observe it, we are in total awe and anticipation of the launch of E-Naira. But the user interface will be very friendly, must not be complicated, must be simple enough for layman to understand. This we could borrow idea from the automated teller machine that we have. It must be as simple and must relate well easily with the user. So is the user interface of the speed wallet E-Naira friendly? We need to make it friendly, please. Another challenge that we may encounter along the way is concerning the financial institutions, our banks, the intermediaries. Are we going to remove them? Job losses, economy, bank loans, default, management, and the like. Of course, digital economy and Naira, electronic Naira is a journey, like I said before. So please let us take it step at a time with strict monitoring, strict total monitoring and commitments on the holistic level of the digital currency that we are having. It is important that we say one thing. It is a journey, a national journey for that matter, a pace-setting journey in Africa, and it is plausible on the part of our central bank. And because it's a national journey, it should not be taken in isolation. The journey must not be taken in isolation. We are grateful already that the central bank have been having stakeholders meetings, and it is important that more of the meeting we need to have as the journey progresses. Benga Olatunji FCA has been talking from G. James Associate. We pride ourselves that we are value to life, value to your businesses. We wish the nations of the world well as e-economy begins to rule and reign. We are priding ourselves as we join the Commonwealth of Nations that are already in and implementing electronic currencies. And we hope that this discourse has enlightened to a greater extent, and we now know what we need to look forward to and the challenges that the bank of bankers, the bankers bank, need to address as we continue to move the nation forward as we continue to expand the territory and looking up to the greater horizon. From G James Associate Channel, Bengal Latinji will be signing off. Don't forget to like us, subscribe to the channel. We are value to life. We are value to your businesses.